to devise some kind of method or strategy to offset some of the events or a repetition of the events that have taken place here in Los Angeles recently. We have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put two dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coon. The white man to go nuts if he can't shoot. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
Queen.
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your
Ahmadiyah.
skin?
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations, I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
I'm
Queen.
getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyah.
oppression and exploitation.
Queen.
Touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all in Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get mad. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on their necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat.
This is the sound of Eric Malcolm.
It's a cut on the gas, other one on their necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle? You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got...
This is the sound of
All right. Hello, everyone. Grand Rising. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen QueenAShakur show. I'm your host, Queen QueenAShakur, and this is your morning wake-up call. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Now, I just dropped the link for the next live in the chat for those of you who follow the backup channel. Okay, so let's get ready to get black into it. All right. Don't forget to like and share. It doesn't cost you a single thing. All right. Hello, Anita Harrell, Claudette. All right. Queen Sam's in the house. 504 Nola, Red Wine Entertainment, Pearly. Ethelene is here. Jervis, Perplexed, Desmond. All right. Let's get into it. Shout out to my moderators putting in work. I see you, Junior. Okay. And shout out to all of my loyal royals and everyone tuned into the Queen. Cherokee Descendant, Dale in the house. Aquarius MC is here. All right. Chris Vesey, Mr. Elevation. So let's get into it. Let's get into it, honey, because the joke is on y'all. Please pay attention. Y'all thought y'all didn't want Kabami up in there, but Kabami's going to make her way into that office one way or another. Now, I want you all to pay attention because now they're trying to convince Biden to just step down permanently and go ahead and let Kamala Harris be the president, okay? Even though she wasn't elected, this is what they're doing. And, you know, Biden may or may not do it, but think about this. Biden looks a little sick these days. He's supposed to be going on a trip to Africa. What if Biden, something happens to him? Okay, just suppose. What if something happens to Biden? And whether he wants to step down or not, Biden's no longer in office. And Kamala's absolutely the first female president. Now, I want y'all to pay attention. Okay? I want you all to pay attention. All right? Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Let's get into it. Let's get into the nefariousness of it all. And see, let me tell you something else too. The Democrats, I told you that they always have a trick up their sleeve. Now, in fact, they said that they vow to fight to the death. Now, what does that say to you? Okay, what does that say to you? Hold on, let's get into these receipts. Gonna share my screen. You may hear some noise in the background. Hey, the elder Baba of Truth, 1948. All right. Peace and blessings. You may hear some noise in the background because the nefarious landscapers decided to come today rather than tomorrow when they're supposed to be here. Okay, so please pay attention.
Democrats have to learn drama and transparency and doing things that the public want to see is the time. This is the moment for us to change the entire perspective of how Democrats
Okay, this
operate.
has now jumped from an internet meme to a Sunday morning show.
Jamal's out here right now.
Congratulations.
Season of House of Cards.
Okay. So you all see that? They said, go ahead and make her the president, get Biden to step down so she can be a transitional figure. Okay. That's what they said. So she can be the 47th president. Now, I want you all to pay attention because like I told you, even if Biden decides not to do it, Biden just may have to do it because Biden is ill. Y'all can't look at Biden and tell something's wrong with him. Okay, Biden might just check out in the next 30 days. Biden might just check out. Who knows? At the end of the day, and then she will absolutely be the president. Okay, please pay attention. All right, so that all being said, and he might check out whether he wants to or not. That's all I'm saying. Just remember, I told you, you heard it here first. Okay, so that all being said, let's talk about the Democrats. Let's talk about it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Here we go. Now let's go to where they talk about they're going to fight till the death, honey. I guess they're not taking it lying down. And remember, they already had the secret meeting with the Pentagon. Well, it wasn't secret, but they had a meeting with the Pentagon on yesterday about Trump. In case Trump's trying to get them to do anything that they find controversial, they're trying to get together their game plan and plot so they can figure out how they're going to deal with him.
Instead, we get the governor back.
If it's contrary to our values, we will fight to the death.
If Trump comes after your freedoms, I'll be there.
You come for my people. You come through me.
If you try to harm New Yorkers or roll back their rights, I will fight you every step of the way.
We did not expect this result, but we are prepared to respond to this result.
So fight is the word. We covered that yesterday, Guy Benson. But you think there'd be a moment of self-reflection? Instead, we get the governor of New Jersey saying, fight to the death.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's talk about the governor of New Jersey for a moment. He talks about our values. And my challenge for Governor Murphy is what exactly are our values in the state of New Jersey right now? In New Jersey, Donald Trump only lost by about 5 points. Mm-hmm. Donald Trump won almost 2 million votes in the state of New Jersey. Last time I checked, when Phil Murphy ran for re-election and won in New Jersey, barely, he won by 3 points and got 1.3 million votes. Donald Trump got 600,000 more votes in New Jersey than the governor of New Jersey did when he ran 3 years ago. So I would humbly submit, as someone who grew up in New Jersey, that maybe the New Jersey governor should spend more time trying to figure out why people in his state are sprinting away from his party than talking about fighting to the death on behalf of values that a hell of a lot of New Jerseyans obviously do not share.
Yeah. Let me share a little story about the governor of New Jersey, Phil Murphy. I was White House press secretary. It was in the heat of the pandemic. It was April of 2020. And I was in the Oval Office and I watched Governor Murphy express thanks to President Trump for helping during COVID, sending test kits, sending swabs. He was diplomatic. He was kind. He saw at this moment a president willing to work with him at a time of national crisis. And in fact, if you don't believe me, we have proof. Watch what he said after that meeting. Listen.
This proves that it is possible to put people over politics. It's no secret that the president and I disagree on some things, but that's not going to stop me from doing everything I can to make sure that New Jersey has all the resources we need to move forward.
You know, Martha, fight to the death perturbs me so much because he has sat across from Trump. He knows Trump worked with him, but now it's fight to the death.
So here's the problem. You know, a lot of these individuals told people that this was going to be the last election in American history, that democracy was going to crumble if this outcome happened. So they can't overnight suddenly move away from this. So now you're hearing these governors, we're going to fight for your rights. We're going to fight for your freedoms. This is going to take a while, this process, for them to unwind. But I expect that you will see Phil Murphy, the governor of New Jersey, where I live, just as Guy described, start to move a little bit to the middle. The party has to be more moderate in order to win elections, and they will try to get there, I would expect, over time. And you're going to see them trying to do that because did you see what happened in Wildwood, New Jersey in the course of this campaign? So many people in New Jersey showed up for Donald Trump. In the Bronx, in Queens, the entire map has moved more red over the course of this election. So the Democrats are going to have to wake up. They're going to have to totally recalibrate. It's going to be like, you know, they're going to try to do what Bill Clinton in 1992, get to the middle, talk about reforming welfare. I mean, all of these things need to be on the table if they're going to fix their electoral problems.
One Passaic County.
That's right.
Go look up the demographics of Passaic County.
Like Miami-Dade.
Yeah, exactly. Miami-Dade, first time since 1988. Look, I want to bring in the ever sagacious Bob Woodward. We've been dealing with left-wing activists. Let's bring in someone who's presumably not a left-wing activist, but a journalist.
Don't be afraid of a knockdown, drag-out fight if that's what we're going to have. We've had them in the United States before. There are, I know this, you know this, there are a lot of strong people out there who believe in the rule of law and the U.S. Constitution.
So Woodward, Kennedy, wants a fight. I'm sure he's going to do quite well writing books and tell-alls about the Trump administration from his sources. I hope not, but Woodward wants a fight.
He said some pretty vile things about the president-elect. And I think he really needs to check himself and get back to traditional journalism. And he could share those lessons with the people at MSNBC who had no problem blaming white women in North Carolina in the case of Joy Reid and Black and Hispanic men in the case of Joe Scarborough and Al Sharpton. So maybe cool down the polemics a little bit and teach people how he won his reputation in the first place. It's certainly not by employing the hyperbole that he stumbled into over the last few years.
Okay, I'm going to stop right there. So, as it continues to go on, a lot of people have a lot to say. And I want you all to pay attention because this is like the craziest election ever, as I'm sure we can all see. Now, in case you missed it, Uncle Luke from 2 Live Crew, Luke Campbell, he's not my uncle, but he wished death on Black folk who voted for Trump, okay? Wishing for them to get lynched. I just want y'all to pay attention, all right? And then he's just so mad and butthurt. And then Michael Rappaport came out and had some stuff to say about Kamala. I don't even know why he's chiming in. I absolutely do not like that man. I just do not like him. But hold on. Let's get into it. First of all, let's go to what Senator Dean Phillips had to say about Biden. Likes up, everyone, please like and share.
Democrats with yet another loss to ponder now that President-elect Donald Trump has officially taken every battleground state on the map. The party is now assessing its future. Now, one Democrat who openly warned against President Biden running again a full year ago and actually mounted a primary.
Okay, so Marie said, if she gets in, what will happen to Trump? Well, nothing, beloved, because what their plan is for Biden to step down and let her just take over so that she can be in the transition period with Trump. Basically, Trump would still be the president, okay, and be inaugurating all of that. But in the meantime, she'd be in there. So what that would do is that would give her the legacy of being the first woman president, okay, and the first Black woman president, okay, as they call it, Black and Indian, they say. So that's what that would do. She would be the 47th president. Then when Trump gets in, he would be the 48th. That's their plan. I mean, they've been sending out text messages and everything. Did you all get the text messages? And also, by the way, thank you, Maurice, for your contribution, beloved, and your insight into the topic. Peace, love, and blessings. Now, how many of you received a text message? Because people were telling me yesterday, they were calling me saying, did you get the text message telling people to pressure them to tell Biden to step down so Kamala can be the president? Anybody see that? Anybody get those text messages? Honey, they are out here working hard in these fields, okay? Boots on the ground. They want her in. And like I told you, as desperate as they are, even if Biden doesn't step down voluntarily, he may likely have to step down, okay? And he may likely have to step down because I have a feeling that Biden's sick and something's going to happen. All right. I don't think this is the last. As a matter of fact, I know this is not the last that we've heard of Kamala. This is not the last that we've heard of her. So you all are saying no. People were saying yesterday they were getting text messages about it. Okay. Please pay attention. This is all nefarious. Kamala said she's getting there one way or another. And if you all remember, when Biden picked her as his running mate back in 2020, Trump said that she didn't win the or she dropped out of the presidential race, but she's planning on getting into the White House through the back door. Trump literally said that. Do you all remember? So I find this all nefarious, but let's continue. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Oh, she'll get in there.
Run himself joins
She
us
just
now.
might.
Minnesota Democratic Congressman Dean Phillips. Good to see you this morning, Congressman.
And let me just say this. I'm not saying that she's 100% going to get in there. I'm just saying that the Democrats are desperate. They really want her in, and they said they will fight to the death. So that says to me that they're not going to stop until they get what they want, at least something that they want. So I'm just telling y'all right now, don't be surprised. Okay, don't be surprised if, in fact, she does. That's all I'm saying. TC Dan says Biden is scheduled to meet with Trump on Wednesday. Yes, I know. And Trump already met with Putin and Zelensky, by the way. So with that all been said, like I told you guys, Biden said that he wanted to be a transition president. Biden said that he wanted to just beat Trump and that he was going to be a one-term president. Now, why did he decide to run again? Well, like I told you guys, it's because power. You see, once people get a taste of power, and that's some people, probably most people, once they get a taste of power, they don't want to give it up. And I find that Biden is likely resentful for how his own party threw him out like yesterday's trash, okay? That's probably why he called us garbage, because he feels like garbage, because that's how he was treated. Okay, so please pay attention. At the end of the day, Biden probably doesn't want to step down, and he probably won't voluntarily do so. But like I said, if something happens to him, he gets sick or something like that, who knows what will happen on that trip to Africa. Okay, please pay attention, but let's continue. And thank you, TC Dan, for your contribution to the channel and your insight to the topic. Peace, love, and blessings.
Congressman Ponder, now that President-elect Donald Trump has officially taken every battleground state on the map, the party is now assessing its future. Now, one Democrat who openly warned against President Biden running again a full year ago and actually mounted a primary run himself joins us now. Minnesota Democratic Congressman Dean Phillips. Good to see you this morning, Congressman.
Good to be with you, Shannon.
Okay, I don't know if vindicated is the right word, because I'm sure you took no joy in what happened on Tuesday night, but do you feel like maybe your voice was ignored in a way the party should have given more full thought to?
Well, Shannon, my voice, yes, was ignored, but tens of millions of Americans' voices were ignored and suppressed and disenfranchised. I think that's what, frankly, has led to Trumpism, people getting tired, being on the sidelines and their voices diminished. I was not the only one that recognized what was likely to happen last week. I was the only one that was willing to say it live. And I think it is that culture of silence and perverse incentives in our political system that is really costing our country. And it's not unique to one party or the other. It's a real problem. And I'm on a mission now to expose the truth and promote transparency, shine some sunlight on reality, and hopefully provide some competition for two parties that have a monopoly on our electoral system right now. And I think it's what George Washington warned us about in his farewell address so many years ago. We should take heed fast.
If you're thinking of selling your home soon, you don't want to miss out on this. Buy your home fast.
Well, you are leaving Congress. That language makes it sound like, are you considering leaving the Democratic Party as well?
I'd like to try to help my Democratic Party. I think the values and principles that have been the foundation of the Democratic Party now for some generations are important. I think America needs a thoughtful, principled, strong progressive party and conservative party. But the parties are not serving American interests right now. And I am deeply concerned. I mean, think about it, Shannon. There's no party talking about fiscal responsibility. There's no party that is making its key platform element working together, solving problems. Our healthcare system's an unmitigated disaster. Our immigration system, a disaster. No party has monopoly on ideas. And I'm one of those getting sick and tired of it, trying to represent what I call the exhausted majority, center-right, center-left Americans who deserve better. But Congress can't fix this. President Trump, President Biden cannot fix this. We got to start setting aside the nonsense, coming back together, and elevating people of competence, decency, and integrity so we can get our act together, because time is short and the needs are significant.
So your party did coalesce around President Biden when he decided he was going to run again. One of the post-mortems on this whole election this week comes from the Washington Post. They write this: Democrats began the campaign season by peddling the fiction that Biden was physically and mentally fit to serve another 4 years in one of the world's most demanding jobs. Do you feel there's some blame that should be assigned to those close to the president who maybe did not give they didn't get full access and people didn't have a full picture? I don't know about from members of Congress, but we've heard complaints from many people that they couldn't get to President Biden. They couldn't spend time with him. And that there was this shield that propped him up as being maybe more mentally and physically fit than he was for the campaign ahead.
Yeah, the answer is yes. Encapsulation is a very dangerous strategy in American politics that thrives on transparency and truth. President Biden's a good man. Even my Republican colleagues will say the same thing. But he's an old man, and his physical decline, his communication decline are real. And an overwhelming majority of Americans saw that as evidence of an inability to serve another term. And it's not what might be real, it's what perception is. And that's what's reality in politics. And yes, there are many people that I believe are accountable for making a terrible mistake in judgment. He was not the only one that could have beaten Donald Trump. He was one of the few that couldn't. And sadly, we ended up elevating yet another candidate who was not positioned well to win. And Shannon, the answer is so simple in America. It's competition. We are a country predicated on it. And when any party suppresses it, when state party leaders in Florida, North Carolina, Wisconsin, and others remove candidates from ballots, that's antithetical to democracy. And both parties have to do a little.
And speaking of that, I want you all to pay attention because they keep talking about democracy, when this country is in fact a republic. Please pay attention. Now, the Democrats are the main ones always talking about, he's going to take away our democracy. We got to save our democracy. But what do they call it when they sued to get certain people off of the ballot so that Kamala would have less competition? I'm sorry, is that democracy? If people wanted them on the ballot, which clearly they did, why did they sue to get certain people off the ballots? Okay, what do you think about that? What do you think about that? See, they're so contradictory as far as I'm concerned. All right, that's just what it is at the end of the day. Queen Sam says Obama should have spoken to him when he was the VP. Let me tell you something. Queen Sam also says, and the republic for which it stands. Exactly. Okay. Claudette says they're full of it. I agree. I absolutely agree. Okay. These people are a hot mess. But now let's go to what Larry Elder has to say. Okay. I don't know about y'all, but I really do not care for Larry Elder. But let's see what he's talking about, because Larry Elder says, unless you're an illegal alien, you're not better off now than you were 4 years ago. All right. So let's get into it. Likes up, everyone, please. A like and share. Miss Cookie says, Queen looking beautiful as ever. I know I'm off topic. I apologize. Do you make your clothing? No, beloved. What is going on? Can you guys hear me once in the chat if you all can hear me? I'm not sure what just happened to my camera. Okay, so you all can hear me. Okay, I don't know what's going on with my camera. I'm trying to figure it out. It just all of a sudden went out. This is all so crazy. Oh, you know what? It's my own fault, you guys. I'm sorry. I accidentally clicked on something. Deborah said, okay, somebody said, I just hear you. Sorry, you guys. Queen, that's YouTube bothering you. No, it was my fault. I clicked on something that took me off the screen. Okay, so let's continue. Sorry for the mishap. I guess I got too excited when Cookie asked me if I made my own clothing. The answer is no, beloved. I don't. I just match them up. Now, I do make my head wraps. But as far as my clothing, no. All right, so thank you, beloved. Okay, so let's continue.
I don't like the fact that a small portion of our party is pretty much dictating where we are. That they are pretty much, we are being branded as the most extreme of us. We need to take stock of why we are being held hostage to the far left.
A lot of people and a lot of Democrats looked at those big media events, those big political events, thinking that would smudge over the reality of inflation and how much groceries cost and how much gas cost and how hard it was to get into a home. They were looking at their wallet.
President-elect Trump successfully harnessed the anger and frustration felt by millions of Americans.
Okay, the big come to Jesus moment. First, that was Hillary Clinton's top advisor, Philip Rines, finally saying, yes, the Democrats alienated voters. Obama, Biden, Harris got the party to go too extreme, too far to the left. And that was Joe Scarborough admitting, yes, Harris's campaigning with elite Hollywood celebrities didn't work. Voters are in the middle of a deep affordability crisis, inflation rocketing higher. Now, this bombshell report from Axios, top aides to Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, finally admit, yes, their economic policies were wrong and bad for America. Joining us now, former presidential candidate, political commentator Larry Elder. Larry, sit tight for a second. Let's go through the quotes. I want you to react to this. It's from Axios. Quote, a former Biden-Harris official said, it's very clear we've got it wrong in economic policy. People feel squeezed. That Harris and Biden leadership never bothered to actually listen to voters and understand what was appealing to them about Trump or why the Biden and Harris economy was not working for them. Your reaction to all of them finally waking up to what you've been saying all along. How do they come back from this?
Well, Elizabeth, I think these people couldn't spell duh if you spotted them, the D and the U. Joe Scarborough has a lot of nerve. Just the other day, he thought that butter cost $3, and Mika gently informed him that it costs, in fact, $7. The bottom line is people feel worse off than they felt 3.5 years ago. The average family of four is spending $1,200 a month for the same goods and services as that family bought 3.5 years ago.
Now let's talk about that real quick, beloveds. So do you all feel that he's telling the truth about that? How do you guys feel? So he's saying that people, unless you're an immigrant, basically, you're no better off right now than you were 4 years ago. So one's in the chat, if you agree. One's in the chat if you feel like you're not better off right now at this moment than you were 4 years ago. Twos, if you feel that you are better off. Ones, if yes. Okay, Perplex said he's spot on, Queen. You know, I don't care for Larry Elder, but I have to absolutely say that I agree. I absolutely agree. Groceries are sky high. It's ridiculous. Okay, and he's talking about butter costs $7. He's probably in California, but here in Atlanta, it absolutely costs almost $6, which is crazy. Okay, which is crazy. Okay, so please pay attention. Now, Maureen says Trump offered to give them back money. Okay, so anyway, let's continue. Like, step, everyone, please like and share. Thank you.
The real question is, are you better off now than you were 3.5 years ago? And unless you're an illegal alien, the answer is absolutely not. And for whatever reason, Kamala Harris didn't seem to understand that.
Yeah, you Democrats are in shock. Voters are in shock. Like, why did Trump win and why did Kamala Harris lose? Now it's because of that. It's the affordability crisis. You know, in the swing states, the housing is up, I think, like 40% since under Biden and Harris. CNN's Van Jones says, quote, it turns out we, the media, we were the idiots. The media and the far left are now in the minority, Larry. The majority of voters nationwide gave a rebuke nationwide to the out-of-touch far left, to Obama, to Harris, to Biden. But, you know, voters said no to the smearing, no to using lawfare attacks. Instead, they want serious debate to fix America. Minority and poor communities really got hurt under this White House.
Yeah, and when you have people like the Washington Post and the LA Times refusing to endorse Kamala Harris, something really is going on. And it doesn't matter your race, it doesn't matter your religion, it doesn't matter whether you're gay, whether you're straight, whether you're black, whether you're Asian, whether you're Hispanic. When you walk into that store and you're paying 20% more than you paid 4 years ago, it bites. And they did not understand that. And Donald Trump, despite the fact that he is a multi-billionaire, has a touch unlike that I've ever seen of any politician in my lifetime.
Larry, let's get your reaction to ESPN's Stephen A. Smith. He spoke to Sean Hannity last night about Trump's resounding victory. Watch this. Listen to this.
He won, and he won in absolutely convincing fashion, so much so that I think that in light of those results, we have to look at this election as a referendum on the Democratic Party. Biden comes into office, and the first thing he does, day one, executive order, he opens the borders. And obviously that created so much tension. And then you look at the culture wars, the identity politics. America said we're primarily concerned about the economy. We're primarily concerned about our borders.
What do you think, Larry Elder? Final word.
Well, I put him in the same category as I put Bill Maher. On Monday, he sounds commonsensical. On Wednesday, he sounds like a left-wing loon. So it depends on the day. But I appreciate it whenever I hear common sense out of either of these gentlemen.
We love common sense, and Larry Elder, you bring it every time. Thanks for joining us tonight.
All right, I've had enough of Larry Elder, but even though he told the truth for once, okay, he absolutely told the truth for once. Now, with that all being said, likes up, everyone, please like and share. So let's go to Bernie Sanders on Latinos for Dems. Bernie Sanders has had a lot to say these past few days. Y'all know I don't fool with Bernie Sanders ever since he didn't want to give us reparations, talking about it's divisive and all that craziness. Okay, here we go.
Support the Democrats and what is now the Democratic Party, or what's perceived to be the Democratic Party. White voters largely propelled Trump to victory in the race, but there was a major shift. The exit polls showed that Latino voters, especially Latino men, shifted more towards Donald Trump. Biden won them by 23 points in 2020. This year, Trump won them by 12. I want you to listen to what a Latino voter told my colleague Ed Lavandera this week.
We believe in, teaching our kids about God, our Christian values, family values. And the Democratic Party is embracing all the woke, left-leaning ideas that it doesn't go with our values.
Do you think it's the Democrats pushing Latinos to Trump, or is it Trump bringing in Latinos?
I think more Democrats are pushing Latinos to Trump.
What do you think of that?
Well, what I think is that Trump has done a good job in claiming that Democrats do nothing more than the woke agenda. In my view, what Democrats have got to focus on, and tell that gentleman, do you want a minimum wage that's a living wage? Do you think healthcare is a human right? Do you think we should build the affordable housing that we need? Do you think we should take care of our seniors by expanding Social Security? So I think the emphasis has got to be, of course, on wiping out all forms of bigotry. And the Democrats should be proud of standing up for women's rights and abortion rights and gay rights and civil rights. But the emphasis got to be is to make it clear that we are prepared to stand with the vast majority of the people, many of whom are falling further and further behind, while the people on top do phenomenally well. That's a message that, in my view, will resonate with the Latino community and the entire working class community.
Let me give one example, perhaps, of this kind of dynamic that we're hearing about. Joe Rogan, very popular podcaster, he endorsed Donald Trump in the final days of the election. 4 years ago, you went on his podcast. You got a lot of blowback for doing that and for touting that he endorsed you. So is this the kind of example of Democrats perhaps shunning or vilifying people who don't totally agree with them?
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. Look, you can have an argument with Rogan, agree with him, disagree with him, but what's the problem going on those shows? It's hard for me to understand that. So I think we've got to get, and clearly you have an alternative media out there, a lot of podcasts that have millions and millions of viewers. Get on the show. Disagree with you here. I agree with you there. I don't see a problem in doing that. And you're right. I got vilified by some of the Democratic establishment because I went on Rogan's show. Now a lot of other people are doing just that.
Before I let you go, you were a steadfast supporter of Joe Biden. You were saying that he should not drop out. There's a lot of Monday morning quarterbacking going on. And a lot of it is that, in fact, he should have dropped out earlier or perhaps never run for a second term.
I don't want to get involved in that. You know, we got to look forward and not in the back. Kamala did her very best. She came in, she won the debate with Trump. She worked her as hard as she possibly could. Let's look to the future and not go backwards.
Senator Bernie Sanders, thank you so much. Congrats again on winning.
Okay, so with that all been said, listen, guys, be careful of what you put in the chat because they do absolutely snatch your channels. Okay, somebody just put the PDF file word in there. Please don't put that word in the chat. I deleted the comment. Moderators, please pay attention to what people are putting in the chat, beloveds. Okay, J&T said, Queen, the Republicans are trying to hold a secret vote to get the speaker in that does not support Trump. I saw the video earlier. Honey, you know what? I'm not surprised. At the end of the day, beloved, see, there's going to be a whole lot of controversial things going on. Now, when you talk about the Pentagon having a whole meeting, trying to figure out their game plan for the incoming president, that's when you know it's all going bad. Okay, please pay attention. I am absolutely not surprised Not surprised at all. Now let's go back to Bernie Sanders, because he also says in another video that Americans have a right to be mad. Of course they do. Everybody, if you're upset about who won, you do have a right to be mad. But what you don't have a right to do is drive over an 80-year-old man, Kabamians, because he was putting out Trump signs in his own yard. That's what you don't have a right to do. You don't have a right to yell and shout in the face of someone's 3-year-old because you're mad. Okay, this is all crazy to me. But also, there's something else that happened to a black man, and he said it was some Trump supporters, apparently. And I'm going to play the video of him because I absolutely cannot. Please pay attention. I absolutely cannot, and neither will you when you watch this video. But we'll get into that momentarily.
A scathing statement after the vice president's loss in what he called a disastrous campaign, saying, quote, "It should come as no great surprise that a Democratic Party which has abandoned working class people would find that the working class has abandoned them." And Independent Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont joins me now. Senator Sanders, welcome back to Meet the Press.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here on this Sunday after Election Day. Let's start right there. Your criticism, incredibly direct. You say you think the Democratic Party has, quote, abandoned the working class. How exactly do you think Democrats have abandoned the working class, Senator?
Look, the working people of this country are extremely angry. They have a right to be angry. In the richest country in the history of the world, today, the people on top are doing phenomenally well, while 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. And millions of families worry that their kids are actually going to have a lower standard of living than they do. You got the top 1% owning more wealth than the bottom 90%. We're the only major country on earth not to guarantee health care to all of our people. 25% of our seniors are trying to live on $15,000 a year or less. We have the highest rate of childhood poverty of almost any major country on earth. And the gap between the people on top and everybody else is getting wider and wider. And then, Kristen, on top of all of that, we got a corrupt campaign finance system, which allows billionaires to buy elections. So if you're an average worker out there, you're saying, hey, I'm working longer and longer hours, going nowhere in a hurry, worried about my kids, and yet the people on top have never had it so good. Where is the Democratic Party? Are they prepared to stand up to these powerful corporate interests, raise the minimum wage, fight for health care for all people, make sure that all of our kids get the quality education that they need, expand Social Security? Are they prepared to do those?
Okay, so quite frankly, you know, Nancy Pelosi really isn't here for Bernie Sanders and anything that he has to say. Trouble in paradise. Nancy Pelosi tears into Bernie Sanders for daring to criticize the Dems. Let's get into it. Nancy Pelosi already said that they're trying to blame her, even though they pressured her to do it, according to her, to get Biden to step down. She said that in this case, the blood on the knife is hers. Or the fingerprints in the blood is
say
hers.
we need to have a reckoning about what our party represents was Bernie Sanders, Democratic socialist, presidential candidate pushed aside by the Democrats multiple times. He came out on X on Wednesday, right after the election, talking about the working class, and he's gotten some blowback on that statement. So here's what Bernie Sanders said on Wednesday after Kamala Harris was thumped. He wrote, "It should come as no great surprise that a Democrat Party which has abandoned working class people would find that the working class has abandoned them. First, it was the white working class, and now it is Latino and black workers as well. While the Democrat leadership defends the status quo, the American people are angry and want change, and they're right." A lot of Democrats, including Nancy Pelosi, taking some issue with this.
That's right. Here's what she said after Bernie Sanders said that.
With all due respect, and I have a great deal of respect for him, for what he stands for, but I don't respect him saying that the Democratic Party has abandoned the working class families. That's where we are. For example, under President Biden, you see the rescue package, money in the pockets of people, the shots in the arm, children in school safely, working people back to work. What did what's his name? What did Trump do when he was president? One bill that gave a tax cut to the richest people in America. In fact,
Wait a minute, did she just ask what was Trump's name? Did y'all catch the shade of it all? She said, what's his name? And then she said, what did Trump do? Did she just act like she didn't know who Trump was?
Voters who earned less than 100,000 K go for Trump in such large numbers.
well, there are cultural issues involved in elections as well. Guns, God, and gays. That's the way they say it.
So
you're right. They're not going to.
No,
they're not learning.
Capable. They got shots.
That's a direct shot. So she sees it as a direct shot at her. She is the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
That's how she certainly sees it. And by the way, she has a ton of power. So she's not wrong. You've already pointed out, we've now seen limitations in Barack Obama's power.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually think she is the most important figure in the Democratic Party. And so when Bernie Sanders says that, yeah, I do. I think she has been.
I think it's going to start fading.
Well, yeah.
Quick.
Because she's old. But she has been. So when he insults the Democratic Party, Bernie Sanders, he's insulting her, is my point.
Sure.
Because she has been the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
And so he says you've turned away from the working class. She's like, I have not.
Sure.
And then you saw her rattle off her things, including the shots in the arm.
Shots in the arm.
But, I saw Joey Behar on The View doing something similar. What's going on in America? Democrats are the party of the working class. Maybe. Used to be.
I'm Steve Doocy.
Well, here's the thing. Bernie Sanders didn't tell a lie in this case, because I already told you guys, weeks ago, that they're not saying anything about the poor, the people that work 9 to 5, the people that make minimum wage. They keep talking about, Kamala specifically, kept talking about the middle class and how she grew up. Okay, at the end of the day, she never said anything about poor people. So that is the working class as far as I'm concerned. And no, they have not said anything about them. And yes, they did seem to abandon them. And so what did they expect? Okay, and it makes perfect sense to me. It just makes perfect sense to me. Now, let's talk about this, because I thought this was clearly nefarious. Now, they say FEMA was allegedly told to skip Trump supporters. Did you all know this? This is what they say. And see, here's the thing I want you all to pay attention to, because they say, these MAGA supporters are divisive, but so are the Democrats. Because they literally have put out information saying that a FEMA worker came forward and said they were told not to give help or to skip past anybody that had Trump signs in their yard. Okay, so let's get into it, honey. This is all crazy. Likes up, please, like and share. Now, this is all just going too far. Okay, this is all just going too far. Now, somebody did a TikTok about this. I'm going to put it up on the screen. Likes up, everyone, please, like and share. Thank you in advance.
38-year-old woman who worked as a supervisor for FEMA was fired after giving instructions to avoid homes with Trump signs. At least 20 homes were skipped, leaving those residents without the necessary support in the wake of Hurricane Milton. Listen, many people reasoning for not supporting Donald Trump is they believe that he's racist. And once he get in office, he's going to treat people unfair. But how are you any different when you doing stuff like this? People don't have to agree with you. We all see the world different. And if you want to live somewhere where everybody have to be on the same page all the time, pack a bag and move to North Korea. Over there, they don't have the freedom of choice. Hear me out. You can't repay evil for evil. If you truly believe that Donald Trump is about to be a prejudiced president, how are you any better by instructing the people who work under you to be prejudiced? This is a clear example of someone who can't control their emotions.
This is so true. A lot of these Kabamians cannot control their emotions. That's why the 80-year-old man was run over, and that's why some of these people took themselves out. You're going to take yourself out because the choice that you picked didn't get the presidency? Honey, this is all so crazy, including nefarious. But hold on, in case you want the facts and receipts, because that was just a TikTok video. So let's get into it, because here's the whole report about it. I'm going to share my screen. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance. This is all crazy.
An armed threat against FEMA workers who are helping victims of Hurricane Helene.
Now, this comes amid a rise in false conspiracy theories about the agency, which are now threatening to slow down the recovery efforts. Janet Shamlian has that story.
44-year-old William Parsons was arrested Saturday after the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office says it received a call about a man with an assault rifle talking about possibly harming FEMA workers in the hard-hit Lake Lure and Chimney Rock areas. The U.S. Forest Service sent an email to first responders in the area that same day, warning National Guard troops had apparently encountered armed militias that were, quote, hunting FEMA. But the sheriff's office tells CBS News there have been no substantiated reports of any.
Hold on, beloveds. I'm sorry. That is absolutely the wrong report. That was Hurricane Helene. Here it is right here. FEMA employee fired after telling relief team to skip houses. This is reported by CNN. Okay. This was reported by CNN 2 days ago. Let me just share this on the screen. So this is what some people have been out here doing. I just find it all so egregious at the end of the day. If you're mad about Trump, don't take it out on other people, especially people in need of assistance. You see that? Okay, reported by CNN. It's reported by several other outlets as well, but let's talk about it. So a federal emergency management agency employee has been fired after they advised their disaster relief team to avoid homes with signs supporting former President Donald Trump while canvassing in Florida in the aftermath of Hurricane Milton. Now, FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell called the actions of the employee irreprehensible and said they have been terminated for their role. More than 22,000 FEMA employees every day adhere to FEMA's core values and are dedicated to helping people before, during, and after disasters, often sacrificing time with their own families to help disaster survivors. This is what Criswell wrote in a post on X, formerly known as Twitter, saying this is a clear violation of FEMA's core values and principles to help people regardless of their political affiliation. Now, just think about how many other FEMA workers felt the same way as this person. Think about how many others of them may not have liked Trump's supporters. Okay, just pay attention. Now, this is reprehensible, they say. I want to be clear to all of my employees and the American people, this type of behavior and action will not be tolerated at FEMA, and we will hold people accountable if they violate those standards of conduct. House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer invited Criswell to testify at a hearing on November the 19th to discuss the incident and FEMA's recent response to natural disasters, including Hurricanes Helene and Milton. He said this was on. He sent a letter to on Saturday to Criswell stating this. Now, in the wake of the recent major disasters that impacted Americans of all political persuasions, it is critical that FEMA adheres to its disaster relief mission. This is what the Kentucky Republican wrote. CNN reported Friday that the employee had been removed from their role and that the incident was under investigation. Now, the agency did not identify the employee and said it believed that it was an isolated incident. They believed it was an isolated incident. For all we know, it could have been a whole group of them doing this. Who knows? And why won't they identify this person? See, this is the thing that gets on my nerves. When people do stuff like this, why aren't they exposed? We should know not only who this person is, we should see their face and all of that. Okay, at the end of the day, but they don't want to expose this person. Please pay attention. Now, with that all been said, let's go to CNN's report on Trump. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Let's have a word from my sponsor before we get into that.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, so don't forget you can purchase your 12 Tribes at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts and also at Walmart.com. Okay, so let's get into it. Here we go.
Now 71 days from Trump again taking the oath of office. During the campaign, he made a long list of promises and threats. from targeting political opponents to carrying out mass deportations. And the question now is, how much will he follow through with that? Joining us now is CNN senior political commentator and former Republican Congressman Adam Kinzinger. Congressman, thank you. I'm going to blame myself and my multiple overnight shifts this week for putting you as a congressman from Texas, even though we know it was Illinois. But yes, I'm a former congressman from Illinois. But it's good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Of course, yeah.
We've all had a few days to reflect on Trump's victory. I'm just curious now on this Sunday night how you see his return to power shaping this country's future.
Yeah, I mean, look, it was a resounding victory. And I think, to some extent, that's actually a good thing because now they're going to have an opportunity to put their vision in place. I mean, we've been talking about what is, Trump's vision for years now. And they're going to have to own whatever that is. This idea of massive tariffs, well, we may actually see what massive tariffs do. Mass deportations. Well, we might actually see what mass deportations are, or, they're going to show that this is a completely unrealistic thing anyway. So obviously I wish the election would have gone a different way, but Americans spoke. And again, now it's an opportunity for, Trump to show what he's made of. And I think it's quite possible that in 2 years, Republicans lose a lot of power in the House and Senate. And then in 4 years, maybe they're going to look back and say, we never should have done that. But I do, and I mean this sincerely, I do wish the president well. I want him to succeed because America succeeds. But I don't necessarily know if I agree with all of his vision.
Yeah, I mean, you were banging the drum for months, supporting Kamala Harris, saying that as an American, that was your duty, even though you didn't agree with her on all the issues. Is it surprise? Did it frustrate you that you were really serious about the state of democracy if Trump were to resume office? And that did not seem to be a message that was received by a lot of Americans.
Yeah, I mean, it's frustrating. And, again, people have a right to vote how they want. I think right now, the thing that's a little concerning is we're being animated by culture war. I mean, we're just being animated by, your prior thing about the transgender athletes. Look, I mean, I think that is a serious issue that we have to have a real discussion on, and Democrats have to take a look at what their position is on it, because it is out of the mainstream. But that's not really an issue that is just, driving people into poverty or, creating wars. It's in essence, invented issue that just creates a lot of anger. So that's a concern for me, is watching this culture war continue to be driven. And I also, to me, the frustration I had with the Harris campaign was, and I tried to get this message out as much as I could, they had a problem with men, not with women. And yet the campaign spent the whole time trying to reach out to women. And it's like, that's actually, you're doing okay with women. You need to do a better job of reaching out to men. And, young men feel like they basically have been abandoned and they don't have a place in this world. And Donald Trump came, and although that was a bad version of masculinity, he showed them a version of masculinity that I actually think is really weak.
Now, let me say this to what he's saying. I have to agree with part of what he's saying, because they focus on the abortion and women's reproductive rights and all of that. That didn't have anything to do with men. This is all the campaign was about, more so. Not completely, but that was predominantly what the campaign was all about. And so then when men were just not, getting answers to questions, when there was a lot of word salad, when there were no direct answers, what do they think men were thinking? Okay, what do they think men were thinking? Don't you think that perhaps they drove some of these people to vote for Trump because they weren't given answers, or Kamala wasn't given answers specifically? And then all this talk about abortion, like that's not the end all be all. There should have been more talk about economics, finances, and moving forward than it should have been about reproductive health, which absolutely, again, has nothing to do with abortion. Okay? Now, the only ones that were interested in that stuff were some of these people who want to use abortion as birth control, because when they talk about these scenarios of, somebody being raped and then they need to get, an abortion, or somebody being molested with an M, at the end of the day, those are few cases. Just like he's talking about invented issues as it pertains to trans women in sports. That's not an invented issue, first of all, but it may be an issue that doesn't happen on a regular basis, or that isn't widespread. Well, so is the incidents that they talked about with abortion, but nonetheless, they continue to push it. Okay, they continue to push it, and I think that's where they fell short. And also not talking about and speaking directly to the working class. That's just what it is. Now, people can get mad all they want, but the truth is the light.
But in a vacuum, that's what they were attracted to, and we see that in the numbers.
And let me say this too, and there are some black people who foolishly and ignorantly think that we, the rest of us, are not supposed to criticize the Democrats. I can criticize them whatever I want, and so can the rest of you. At the end of the day, they're not a perfect party, and just because some people feel that they've done things for us, at the end of the day, the bottom line is this, okay? They haven't always done what we needed them to do. They haven't given us what we needed when we've sit here and voted for them disproportionately for all of these decades. That's what they haven't done. They think we owe them, but hell no, they owe us. And so with that all being said, we can criticize them as much as we want. And they can get mad and send Barry Obama out there to try to scold people and go in on people. At the end of the day, if they were doing their due diligence, they wouldn't have had to send Barry out there to talk to anybody, because people would have been willing to vote for them regardless. Okay, please pay attention.
Numbers.
And Trump once included you on a list of people he said, in his words, should be going to jail for your role this in the January 6th committee. What do you think about these threats to go after former officials or current officials, political enemies, if you will, that he's made? Because he made them a lot. And now suddenly his allies have been telling us on this show, well, we don't know that it's going to go that far. What do you think?
Well, look, I mean, it's very anti-democratic to do that. It's very authoritarian to make those threats. So I hope they don't do it. Let me say this, though. I have 0.0% fear of that. And I'll say this to anybody that's watching, that's kind of a figure that's out there publicly saying they're super scared of what Trump. Quit it. Stop it. Like, he's not going to come after us. He's not going to come after you. If you broke the law, maybe. Anybody that breaks the law, should obviously be held accountable. But because he disagreed with you, he can do whatever he wants to try. We're still a country with a rule of laws. I have 0% concern, because if you're going to make up stuff, then America will see exactly what you are. And so I'm not concerned whatsoever about it. I'm glad you're asking, because for some reason there's this narrative out there that we all should be leaving the country or something. Stop it, folks. Like, this guy, he's going to be a president, good or bad. He's not going to come after you and make stuff up. We do have a justice system still, and it'll be just fine.
And it sounds like you're trying to ground people in what you think is the reality.
Yeah. I mean, look, again, let's look at this and say, okay, let's say there is a decision made to come after his enemies. Well, they're going to have to make up stuff. Like, they're going to have to lie and make up stuff. I still believe that you go through the court system, you're going to be fine. I think the American people, if they all of a sudden see that the administration is locking up opponents for no reason, there will be massive rebellion, a small r, uprising within this country to say, we're not that kind of country. So yeah, stay grounded. And again, if you're one of these folks that are out there, I've seen a few of them out there like, Chicken Little running around. Stop it. All you're doing is making Donald Trump happy. You're acting like you're scared of him. Don't be scared of him. Like, seriously, there's nothing to be afraid of.
All right. Congressman Adam Kinzinger, thank you so much for your thoughts. We appreciate it.
There's nothing to be scared of unless you were one of the people that he feels slighted him in some way, because you all know that Trump is vindictive. Okay, that is just a fact. He said there's nothing to be scared of. Well, if you did something to tick him off, there just might be. So please pay attention. Please pay attention. Now let's talk about Trump meeting up with Putin. Here we go. Likes up, everyone, please like and share.
You don't have one level in Russia. We have Europe. Hello, everybody.
So Trump had a phone call with Putin. They say the Kremlin claimed Putin was ready to discuss Ukraine with Trump, but not but not alter its demands. Okay, so they say that reports claim that Trump also spoke to Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky about the war. Now, listen to this. Washington provided tens of billions of dollars worth of U.S. military and economic aid to Ukraine. Trump, with fellow Republican lawmakers, repeatedly criticized and rallied against Ukraine's funding. Okay? That's the Democrats sending all that money over there, and then they don't have money to give people for disaster relief. And they may have separate funding for that, but if you run out of funding in one source, you should be able to dip into another source to get the funding, is all I'm saying. But no, they couldn't do that because they sent all the money over to Ukraine. And then they don't want to give us reparations. I find it all very interesting. And any person that looks like me that doesn't find that problematic is a fool. Okay, so please pay attention. At the end of the day, Trump's already making moves to stop the war, I suppose. We don't know how that's going to happen. But here's what here's a video of, hold on. They talk about Trump. And I want you all to pay attention to this because here's the thing. They feel that Trump is very dominant and that Trump is a president who flexes his authority. Okay, this is what some people say. And they feel like this is why they wanted him instead of Kamala. They say that Trump lets other leaders know who's in charge. I just want y'all to pay attention. Now, that may or may not be true, but just please pay attention. I'm going to share my screen.
Give Trump some credit for how he projects dominance when dealing with foreign leaders. Netanyahu, often regarded as one of the world's most aggressive and hardline leaders, seemed diminished next to Trump. During their recent meeting at Mar-a-Lago, Trump made it clear who was in charge. In a display of physical dominance, Trump yanked Netanyahu's hand so hard during their handshake that he lost his balance. That was just the beginning. Trump then gripped Netanyahu's wife's shoulders with both hands and called her his secret weapon, implying that Netanyahu follows whatever his wife says, thereby undermining his authority. While some might view these actions as inappropriate, for Trump it was a display of dominance. Netanyahu likely felt humiliated, as any man would, but all he could do was smile and remain silent out of fear. You might not agree with Trump on many issues, but you have to admit that his boldness forces other world leaders to think twice before challenging him. You have to give Trump some credit.
Okay, you heard that? They say Trump gives other leaders, makes them think twice before challenging him. Like I said, that may or may not be true. I don't know. But at the end of the day, that does look like a display of dominance to me. I mean, yanking the man in with a handshake, I would have been mad as hell if I were him. Okay, please pay attention. Now, with that all being said, let's talk about what Michael Rappaport had to say about Kamala. Now, even though I'm not crazy about Kamala, at the end of the day, as we all know, Michael Rappaport needs to sit down somewhere. That's what he needs to do. He needs to sit down somewhere. Hold on, let me cue this real quick. Okay, here we go. I mean, he went on a whole tirade, you guys. Literally went on a whole tirade. Now, because this isn't my video, and let me just shout out Hip Hop News Uncensored. I'm going to put an overlay on here. Likes up. Here we go.
truth about Kamala Harris's campaign. A lot of you are not going to want to hear this, but it's some hard truth. Take a listen. Stay tuned for my commentary.
This is a reason that you're not going to want to hear. I personally believe that America is ready for a woman. I personally believe that America is ready for a woman of color, just not that woman and that woman of color. It was Hillary. It was Kamala. It wasn't because they were women and women of color. It was them. They just didn't do it. They just didn't do it. You can't say it's racism. You can't say it's sexism. It's them. It's them. You can't point one finger out when you got three pointing at you. You got to take some responsibility. It was them. They just weren't good enough. They just didn't say the right thing at the right time enough. That, along with all the other bullshit, is why they lost. You got to look in the mirror. You got to look in the mirror. Another reason why Kamala lost: Barack and Michelle Obama. Barack and Michelle Obama. You're not who you think you are anymore. You're movie producers. You're almost billionaires. You can't show up every 4 years and talk that shit. What have you done for me lately? Dun, 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 dun. Ooh, who are you guys? You're celebrities. You're celebrities now, big time political celebrities. Barack, Michelle Obama. You can't show up every few years and start telling people what they should do and who they should vote for. Who the f is you?
You know what? Michael was right. I definitely don't always agree with him. And when it's time to, put BTA, that's what we do. But since you guys like listening to people of other persuasions.
Okay, as far as I'm concerned, like I said, he needs to sit down somewhere because I don't fool with him. I do not fool with Michael Rappaport, period, ever. I'm not even going to agree with him. Okay, even if he was right or wrong, I'm not going to agree with him. Please pay attention. Now, with that all been said,
Death.
Let's talk about it because Uncle Luke had a whole lot to say as it pertains. We're going to get into it because he was going in on black folk who voted for Trump. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Again, I'm going to put an overlay up here.
And subscribe to the brand. Viral. Hip hop news. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. And let's go to work. All right, Luther Campbell. Man, oh man. So Luther, obviously, the last year or so has been campaigning really hard. Was now the different.
Square, motherfuckers, 15 million motherfuckers stayed home who voted in the last election. So it is what it is. So I'm going to sit back with my popcorn and I'm going to watch this crazy motherfucker say what the fuck he want to say, do what he want to do. He got full immunity. He might go out just like he said before, he's going to shoot a motherfucker on Madison Avenue and not go to jail because he can't go to jail.
Fifth Avenue.
I'm looking forward to all these 12% of black men who voted for this psycho motherfucker are sat home. I'm looking forward to them get their ass lynched by the police officers. I'm not going to fucking protest under no circumstance at all. So I'm sitting my ass back with my popcorn, and the Department of Education, they're going to turn public schools into third world countries where the degenerates are now going to go to those schools, guys with 1.1 average, gang rapers and all that shit that's going to be in the public schools from now. So y'all better start getting your kids in charter schools and private schools right now because that shit finna turn crazy because the Department of Education is going to be over. So I'm looking forward to this shit. Everybody who voted for this fucking clown, y'all going to get what you asked for. Don't go to crying wolf.
He said, don't go to crying wolf. Okay, so, well, you know, at the end of the day, he's entitled to his opinion, but I find it all nefarious that he said he's going to sit back and wait for people to get lynched and he's not going to protest. Sir, you've never protested. Who's ever seen you at one? So please sit down somewhere, Luke. Okay, please sit down somewhere, Luke. At the end of the day, he sounds nonsensical as far as I'm concerned. Now, with that all being said, and this is the hatred that they give. These fools like him who think like him act as though people don't have a right to voice their opinion, to exercise their vote however they see fit. Okay, with whatever information they have and wherever they got it from. They're allowed to do what they want to do and vote however they wish. And I find it very sad that some people are so stupid and think so much so of themselves that they think that whatever they want is what matters, not what other people want, only what benefits them as they see it. Okay, so please pay attention. But now, before we roll up out of here, I want you all to see this video of this black man who says that he was called the N-word by some Trumpsters. And he sat there and he cried like a little bitch. Okay, now I am so sorry if I don't have empathy and sympathy for him. This is a grown man. I am so sick and tired of these crying arse Negroes. Okay, like the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan says, the scared to death Negroes. Honey, so you're going to cry in the car? Please make it all make sense.
I can't tell you the last time I've been live on any level of social media. But I'm so broken right now. That this is really where I wanted to go. I usually try to stay away from politics and any political views, and I don't have those conversations. I don't do a whole lot of likes and shares. But when you want to see what's really happening to America right now, I'm going to show you and I'm going to tell you what's happening to America right now. I'm sitting at a gas station in Statesville, North Carolina. I pump my gas. I'm pumping my gas. And a truck pulls up that looks exactly like my truck. The only difference is this truck has an American flag on the back of it and a Trump 2024 flag on the back of it. I don't acknowledge this group of guys in this truck. I don't say anything to them. I pull up to the pump. They pull up to the pump next to me and pumping gas. The only reason I could think they had any inkling to try to say anything to me is because we were both driving the same vehicle. The same type vehicle. After they pump their gas, they pull out, get ready to pull out the parking lot. They yell, Trump 2024, you dumbass. And I don't care what anybody says. When you look at supporting someone who encourages divisiveness and doesn't care how it's taken and encourages it, I was sitting here minding my own business. I wasn't saying anything to anybody. I wasn't doing anything but pumping gas. Now, if I wasn't smart, if I was ignorant, I would have said something back to him. And then I'm looking at 4 young white men in a truck yelling and screaming at me. And I'm looking at the possibility of me having a confrontation with them. But instead, I get back in my truck and now I'm so distraught. Because this is the America that we're going to have to deal with for the next 4 years. And I'm worried about every young black man in America I'm worried about every young black woman in America that could be doing something as simple as what I was doing, minding their own business, and they get attacked by the ignorance of people that think this is what it's gonna take to make America great again. And I'm telling y'all now, if we have never needed the law before, we need him now. And I don't care whether you're Democrat, whether you're Republican, whether you're independent. This is not the America that God intended America to be. And I'm so distraught right now. So my message to young black men, young black women, any minority at this point that could be attacked, as hard as it's gonna be, bridle your tongue. Keep your mouth shut. Don't respond. Don't say anything. Don't do anything. If you're in a position to get in your vehicles and drive off, if you're in a position to walk away, walk away. As hard as that's gonna be, as hard as that might be, I'm telling you, your life's gonna depend on it.
This dude right here, I'm sorry, did y'all hear that? This fool is crazy. Maurice says, where's my giant Genesis world recorded violin? Okay, thank you for your insight to the topic and your contribution to the channel, beloved. I'm sorry, what? This ninja is crazy. First of all, he sounded like he was acting. I'm sorry, that didn't even sound sincere. It sounded like crocodile tears. But even if it was real, that's even worse. Sir, why are you sitting there crying and then saying he feels so sorry for every black man and every black woman and this and that, any minority? Sir, everybody's not going to go cry in the car like you. Okay, everybody's not going to cry in the car like you. This is all so sad and embarrassing. This is a grown man. They didn't put hands on you. They called you the N-word. Sir, you could have said something back. And if you chose not to, that's fine. But why are you crying again? Why are you crying again? And why is he trying to act like this is because Trump's in office or going to be in office, that this is why this happened? They've been doing stuff like that. Okay, just like black folk have been getting lynched and all this other stuff. And the police have been saying that it's not a hate crime. Oh, they did it to themselves. These things have always been happening throughout the history of this country. So please, let's not sit here and paint foolish narratives. Okay, but now he's sitting up here crying like, dude, man up, as Judge Joe Brown would say. Who cries about that? Who cries about that, honey? If somebody said something like that to me, honey, I would have just gone in on them. Okay, at the end of the day, and I stay strapped, so I'm not worried about any of this foolishness. He sounds crazy. He sounds so crazy. Likes up, everyone. Please like the show. We're about to be up out of here. Terry Hill said, loving your whole ensemble, queen, everything. Thank you, beloved. I appreciate you. Y'all know this is crazy. Y'all know this is absolutely nefarious. This man sitting up here boo-hoo crying like somebody's 3-year-old. And then like he's giving us a warning as if we're all scared. Okay, I'm not no scared today's Negro. Never have been, never will be. Okay, and neither should he. This is all sad. What do y'all think about it, honey? I absolutely find it deplorable. I find it absolutely deplorable. Anpu said, please, Massa, don't beat me. Okay, that's what I heard. Okay, that's exactly what I heard. This is all crazy. What is going on here? Honey, I hate people like him even bother to make videos. Okay, trying to make us look like some weak arse ninjas. Please sit down somewhere, sir. Okay, please sit down somewhere. J&T said, I can't, queen. So crazy. It is crazy. It is crazy. Queen Sam said, so now we women have to protect our men? I mean, that's what it looks like. Somebody's got to protect him because he said he was so broken. Isn't that what he said? I am so distraught right now. I am broken. Broken because somebody called you that. Let me tell y'all why he's crying. If his tears are authentic, because he could have been acting, putting on for the camera, I don't know. It just sounded kind of fake to me. But if he is sincerely crying and hurt, you know why the only way that would be, or the only reason that would be the case? It's because he is likely one of those black people who never thought that someone would call him that, who never thought that someone would say those things to him. And now he's gotten his ninja wake-up call. Because, you know, there are some black people who walk around here despite all the racism in this country, the systemic racism and all of this. There are some black people who absolutely don't think these things could ever happen to them. You've seen them. I've shown you the footage where they'll say, oh, I just can't believe it happened to me. Why not? If you're black, it could absolutely happen to you in a racist country, which we live in. It could absolutely happen to you. Now, it's never happened to me, but I wouldn't be surprised if it did. I wouldn't say, oh, I never thought it would happen, because I know that it absolutely can happen. But when and if it does, I know what to do. And what I won't do is sit up there and cry like some little old bitch. Who does that? Who does that? That is disgusting what we just witnessed. Okay, this is a grown man. This is not some little kid. This is not some teenager or even a young adult. This is a grown-ass man. And you're really going to sit your behind up there and cry? And then you got a nerve to make a video of yourself crying and post it? This is all despicable. And at this point, I absolutely cannot. With that I've been said, I'm going to close out this video, honey. It's all crazy around here. Y'all stay tuned because I'm sure the nefariousness will continue. Okay, so like stuff, everyone, please like and share. Thank you for tuning in. Okay, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr._A_Shakur, TikTok at Dr. A Shakur, and Twitter at DGoddess27. Also, I'm going live on the backup channel right now. We got to talk about this shooting at Tuskegee University that left 6 people deceased. Okay, amongst other things. There's the link right there. I love you all to life. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace. Oh, hold on. I see somebody send another super chat. Okay, Donna says, ask him about those SA charges to minors. He's from my town. Oh, really? Say what now? Say it ain't so, Donna. Donna said, ask him about those SA charges. He's from her town. So what do you know? Isn't that something? And now he's sitting up here crying. Thank you for sharing that tidbit of information, beloved. And thank you for your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. Honey, this is all crazy to me. Okay, this is all crazy to me. And then he got exposed. All right. So this is what we're working with, people. This is what we're working with some of these clowns. You're going to sit up here and cry on the camera. Okay. And then you're going to post it like you're giving a stark warning to everybody else. Every one of us is not afraid. Okay. That's just what it is. All right. Until next time, beloveds, I'll talk to you all again soon. Peace.
Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece. This time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they